Hello, it's Colette from the Sacred Rose Temple. Ooh, and I've been really sat with all of this that's going on with the abortion laws. And for me, it's a mixed bag because I teach women sacred sexuality. And sacred sexuality is about becoming sovereign as a woman, it's about absolutely taking ownership in all ways of our body, our mind, our thoughts, our emotions, our spiritual essence, our whole being. And one of the things that we learn in sacred sexuality is our cycles as women and how the window of ovulation occurs over a few days within a month. And we take sovereignty for that. We hold that space for the knowledge that we bring to our body that there are certain days in which we do not make love, have sex. And we hold that sovereignty and guard that sovereignty over our bodies, unless, of course, we wish to create life. And part of being a sacred sexual teacher and a student of sacred sexuality is that I am aware of my body as a woman. I have learned how to navigate the cycles that I go through in my body, the menstruation, the windows of conception, the post ovulation, and all of the way that affects my body and my emotional being and my spiritual being. And that has been a way that connecting with my womb, connecting with my sacred sexuality has allowed me to be empowered in the place where I can conceive or decide not to conceive. And the sad thing about this is that this education, shall we say, is not taught to girls at school. It's not shared with women. Well, that's not completely true. Of course, it is, but into the spiritual aspect of having sovereignty over your body and all the woundings that we hold as women that allow us to get into situations where we have unwanted pregnancies. I am not talking about rape here. That is something I want to leave out of this discussion, but I am talking primarily to us as women who are having sex, who are making love, and are aware that when we do that, that there is a space, a time that we can be aware of, that making love is not an option that will safeguard us from pregnancy. I have the luxury to be able to be around women who are embodying this and working with this, and have worked with this for years and have used natural methods of birth control. And that's not always been the case for me. I was using, other methods of birth control, and now I've educated myself into how damaging they actually are for women. And there's more and more research coming out on the adverse effects of the birth control pill for women and how that affects their mental health and their body and their regulation of hormones within the body. And also, all the other methods that women have to choose are not the only method, that there is a natural method, that there is a way that you can control and have sovereignty over your own cycle and abstain in the cycle of ovulation. There are also many different herbs and natural things that we can take to help prevent. And, neem oil is one of those things. I don't want to go too much into herbal remedies. I know there's Queen Anne's lace that has been used as a one that stops ovulation happening after, intercourse. And these have very high effective rates of success. However, it still boils down to the fact about personal sovereignty and about you knowing your body as a woman. And we can say that men are involved too, but I never passed that over. I always took and still take full sovereignty over my body and say, if I want to get pregnant, I know when I'm ovulating, and if I don't engage in sexual activity. And it's all got too comfy for us to say, oh, there's one night stands and there's this and there's that. But, when I work with women in sacred sexuality and they embody the work, they actually do the healing, they don't let that happen. So there's much to be discussed. I am all for freedom of human rights, and I know the abolishment of human rights in any way, shape, or form is just a dangerous, dangerous path to go on. And that's not my focus in this conversation. My focus is to really come back to women holding sovereignty, women holding power and knowledge and wisdom over their body when they can, in the situations and circumstances that are within their control, that they can do something about pregnancy prevention. And that is an education I would love to see all women have access to, research into, and share with our daughters. Imagine the difference there when we then took back what's happening in the world back to our own power and say, I've actually got this. I actually take my power back from you. You cannot take it away from me because I know how to prevent that situation occurring in the first place. So, food for thought. Sending you much love as always, Colette.